Dead and Hip Hop classic review for y'all, for the patrons. You know what I'm saying? Y'all voted on it.
Yeah,
y'all voted for it. So we do what you want. You want it, you vote for it, bam. Now we gonna do it. Nas, It Was Written. Who did it beat out?
It went up against Gangstar, Moment of Truth, beat out LP, Fantastic Damage, Smith & Wesson, The Shining, Old Dirty Bastard, Return to 36 Chambers, the 30 version.
Was it close to anything? Like did something almost?
Fantastic Damage and Old Dirty Bastard both got 23%, and Nas beat him out with 38%.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. It almost.
Nominating Smith and Wesson.
They want that one.
I think we just need to do it because that should have never win. We probably just need to do it just
To give it to
him.
I think it's been like on the 6th consecutive
I know, man.
polls.
I just
Gangstar, Moment of Truth.
People always ask me, hey man, what's your favorite Nas album? This is the one.
Oh, okay.
This is my favorite Nas album.
It's a lot.
Why you look like that,
people's
Mike?
Favorite Nas
Yeah,
album.
It is.
Did you know that?
Yeah, Mike,
I don't think he knew that.
It is,
I did
Mike.
not know
It's a
that.
lot of
Yeah,
people's
it
favorite
is.
Nas
I
album.
never listened to this album.
What? Say you?
I know I like it. This is not the album that I'm never in the mood to listen to this album.
Wow. The reason why it's my favorite Nas album, it was the best combination of beats and rhymes for Nas, for me. Illmatic was good, obviously classic. I'm not diminishing that at all. You know, it's up there. But this to me was just, it just had everything that I pretty much want from Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like it arguably has the best song he's ever done. If I Ruled the World.
The best song he's ever done.
No, that's the best song on the album.
Nah.
What was the best song on the album to you?
If I gave you power.
Taking him
Okay, fine. Let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase that.
Nas is coming with that Dr. Dre beat.
Yes, that's dope too. But let me rephrase that. I mean like his biggest commercially successful song is If I Ruled the World. Not
Talking about what'd you say?
I said that was actually one of my
Nas
least
is
favorite
coming
songs.
is your least favorite
Yeah.
song?
I mean, it's not a whack song, but it was just like out of all those songs, that was just like the one.
Damn, B.
Wait. What?
It's the same song.
Yeah. Nas is coming.
Really?
Yeah.
That build up, man. Oh man.
Yeah. Like I think I was just hyped. I was like, damn.
I mean, it was
Drake.
monumental because it was like, okay, at that time,
Right.
in the height of East and West Coast beefing,
Right.
Dre did a joint with Nas, which
Yeah, and then the way they were talking in the
It's a
beginning.
dope ass beat.
it wasn't. Yeah, I
What?
It ain't blackmail.
I wasn't going crazy over it though. Like it was. when I
Oh,
heard
the
it,
beat, B.
Yeah, it was cool.
That beat is dope.
And it to me, it was just a perfect marriage. And then also now that I'm older, going back and listening to these things, man, it like Street Dreams, that was like my dad all the way. So I listen to that and it's just like, damn, like I can picture all of the stuff that, you know, like how we were living. I Gave You Power. You know, the first time I heard that, like what the fuck? Like that was one of the first times that to me in hip hop, it took me like deeper places. It was one of the first instances in hip hop where that storytelling put me right in that place. You know what I'm saying? It was like watching a movie. It was one of the first times ever that I was like, whoa, like this might be better than watching a movie. You know, listening to somebody describe it over a dope ass beat and to give you all of those different layers of, you know, coming from the perspective of a gun and, you know, getting all your serial numbers all washed away and guys, how they use you and this, that, and then, you know, all of that for you to jam up because you don't want to do this dirt no more. Somebody that just picked you up. And it almost describes the symbolism of the trap. You know what I'm saying? Like I think there's
for black to kill blacks. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's that's really what it is at the end of the day, man. It's just, it describes the trap in the hood and how no matter what you try to do, you're always sucked back in. You try to get out, you say, you know what, I ain't doing this shit no more. And you right back in that shit. And it's not even your choice. Obviously, If I Ruled the World, okay, maybe not his best song, but it's one of his most commercially successful.
It was a huge hit at the time. And I think it was one of the songs that,
You said, go ahead.
Yeah, it was one of the songs that drove like sales of this album. And I think when you think about It Was Written and him wanting to get with Trackmaster because he wanted to basically go mainstream. You know, that was his whole thing. And they created, to your point, they created this accessible sound that, you know, mainstream or radio people could listen to. And then and then he had those Taken in Blood, I Gave You Power, those harder tracks that were on here for more of the hip hop heads. So it kind of
was
cater
the Biggie
to
formula.
both audiences.
It was the Biggie formula.
Kind of going back to where we said like this is a lot of people's favorite Nas album. Well, nowadays when you look at the younger generation that's coming up in hip hop, you can kind of sort of see why.
I didn't know that people love this album as much as y'all are saying. I believe y'all.
Yeah,
I
no,
guess.
I was somewhat shocked because I think the default response for a lot of people is Illmatic.
I haven't listened to this album in I don't know how long. Until the other day when we were going to review it. Or the other week, really.
How'd you feel when you did listen to it though?
I mean, it's cool, but I just never want to listen to it. It was like, I understand why people were taken aback when this came out. Because now when we look at it, it's like, yeah, the production is dope. But at the time, I can see why they were like, well, shit, what the fuck is going on? Like, the production is not what we got with Illmatic.
Yeah.
It was completely different. I mean, I think this is some of Nas's best rapping, but as a full package, it's just like, I never want to listen to this album.
Where do you kind of put this? Is this in his top 3? Is this top 5 for him?
I mean, how many albums does he have? So, I mean, it would have to be top 5.
I don't think it'll be top 3, but I definitely think it'll slide into like 5.
For you?
Yes.
Personally?
So then what's like the reason why I keep asking is because then if it's not in your top 3, what are the 3 better albums than this?
Shit, I always go back to either Illmatic or the Nigger album. Like, I feel like Untitled, whatever you want to call it. Those 2 albums, whenever Nas comes to mind, those are the 2 that I always go to, and it's always just a rotation of those 2. It's like I said, Nostradamus never gets played. It was written. I haven't listened to this in fucking years. And then like Hip Hop is Dead
Godson.
never gets played.
Godson.
Stillmatic only for like the first 5 jams. Then I turn it off because I started getting bored. It's not a bad album. It's a great album. It's just when I listen to that, I'm just like, man, I want to listen to Untitled instead.
What about Godson?
I never listened to Godson.
feel you.
I never listened. I would put it over Nostradamus, but I never listened to that album.
So it sounds like It Was Written might be 3rd for you then.
It was
By default.
would
Yeah.
be default like 3rd. I'm not shitting on this album. It's still a great album. I'm just never in the mood for it. It was too
This album
clean.
too clean. Coming off of Illmatic, it was like
Coming off of Illmatic, it was too
New York
clean.
State of Mind.
Yes,
You know,
everything was
Life's the
grimy.
Bitch, yeah.
This
yeah,
just sounded
Represent,
really
Halftime,
clean.
Yeah. But I think that's what he was going for.
I know,
Yeah.
and it's
he-
not. That doesn't make it bad.
Because he
It's just,
switched
you know,
managers. You know, he was with Search, with Illmatic, and all that, and then he got with Steve Stout, which is like,
Yep.
you know, and then he was like, "I'm gonna get you track
Like
masters.
Mr.
This is
Mainstream.
new. Yeah, this is a new production dude. I'm gonna hook you up with track masters. Bam, bam.
Yep.
I mean, and they crafted a good sound for Nas for this album.
Yeah.
And he was like, you can still get your Primo, you can still get your Havoc produced tracks or whatever,
The ones
and
on, yeah.
you know, so. My only gripe with this album, I mean, like I said, I love the album. It's just like I felt like with Illmatic, and then once like all the other East Coast dudes, you know, Raekwon, Only Bill Cuban Links, and you know Biggie, you know, like with that gangster name, like
Mafioso.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Nas picked up on that where it was like, well, damn, like you know, set shit on fire with Illmatic, and it's like I feel like he was following that whole scheme that everybody else was doing. You know what I'm saying? Raekwon,
Escobar shit.
yeah, like that's when Escobar was born. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, Coogee Rap, Raekwon, and them always had that. Like I just felt like he was just following that formula. You know what I mean? Like it was like you can tell Coogee Rap was sprinkled all over through this album. Yeah, I just feel like Nas was just kind of following that formula too much when he didn't have to. But other than that, I like the album. I mean, I still love this album. I can still play it on a consistent basis. But sometimes I just be thinking like, damn, Nas, why did you follow that formula? You didn't have to. Like,
While it was cleaner, I don't think it was commercial though. I didn't feel like it was commercially
Yeah.
driven.
Yeah.
if I were the world,
Put yourself in those days.
I rule the rail. Okay, what else?
Street Dreams,
Street
he
Dreams.
even remixed it and had R. Kelly on it. He even remixed it and had R. Kelly
Okay,
on it.
remix with R. Kelly, I'll give you that. But like Street Dreams,
But even the original song, yeah.
so the original song sounded commercial to y'all? It didn't
If you
really
think about
sound.
what was
Nas.
popular at that time, absolutely. This whole album was super freaky.
I'll give you Nas is Coming and I Rule the World.
No, I
Black
see
Girl
what you're
Lost.
saying. Like, Black Girl Lost, but
Taking in blood, man.
you didn't really need a lot
Right.
for it to be considered
yeah,
a
yeah.
mainstream album
Right.
back then.
Right.
Like, you could just have a couple of cuts.
Sprinkled
and,
in.
you know, yeah.
Like Biggie.
And it's amazing how I wonder why I still don't to this day why he didn't put Silent Murder on the CD version and had it on, because I had this on cassette first.
Because it wasn't radio friendly.
What? Silent Murder?
Damn,
I mean,
I
it's
didn't
still, but like, why put it on a cassette and then don't have it on the CD? Like,
Was it on the cassette?
Yeah, it was on the cassette.
I didn't have the
It wasn't on the
cassette.
CD.
I had the CD.
I had brought it on cassette first,
Yeah.
and I had it on.
Yeah, by the time CD came, they started taking stuff off, like NWA.
Yeah,
It took
So it-
Fuck the Police off.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like I wonder why he didn't. Cause Silent Murder was such a fucking dope ass song. And I remember when I had got to see, I'm like, where the fuck is Silent Murder at? Like,
Yeah.
Weird. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
You know
Look
what?
it up. Yeah.
I didn't,
Silent
I
Murder
didn't
was
know
only
that
on
it
the
wasn't
cassette.
on the CD.
Nope, it
I guess
wasn't
because
on
I've
the
been listening to the MP3 version for so long.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was originally when it originally came out. If you brought the cassette and someone else had the CD, that person that had the cassette tape had Silent Murder, and the person that had the CD
Yeah.
didn't.
I used to play it a lot. I played this shit a lot.
Taking
I did play
Taking
it.
in Blood was like
Yeah.
easily one of my favorite tracks on there, man.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that shit. That and Shootouts. Shootouts was so
Shootout
fucking.
was nice.
It reminded me of like some Wu-Tang, like the beat there. The beat reminded me of something like a OD to RZA for some reason. I'm like, damn, Trackmasters pulled that out. Like, I thought that was really dope. And then of course, live nigga rap with Prodigy and Havoc. That was dope because they already worked on Eye for Now on the Infamous, so it was dope to see them. I was surprised I didn't see like a Raekwon. I was kind of maybe because of a verbal intercourse. I'm like, okay, I know it gotta be like a Raekwon and Ghostface feature in there, but that wasn't it. But Affirmative Action was definitely a dope, introduction to the firm.
Does that remind you kind of this is a weird comparison of like Monster? Because it was like was Foxy like Nicki before Nicki? Because like I feel like she did on that track what Nicki did on Monster.
Yeah, because
Like, and her
when
verse
that
is
shit
even
came
longer.
out, it was
Right.
and she was spazzing.
Right.
Right.
She was fucking spazzing. You was like, yo, who
It
is
set her up
this?
nice.
It
Yeah.
did.
Yep.
Affirmative Action came out. They was like, yo.
We wait for the Firm album.
Yeah, that right.
Yeah, we got it.
We didn't get what we wanted. but
Right,
we got
right.
it.
They should have detoxed that shit.
Yeah, right. And that was the firm that Cormega was still on, because when it came out, Nature had replaced
Nature,
Cormega.
yeah.
So yeah, like Cormega was on there, and AZ, like
But that whole track was just about Foxy. I
It
feel
went-
like. I mean,
because
everybody
she had-
snapped.
I gotta go back and listen to it again. I
Man,
haven't listened
Listen
to
to
it
it again. You'll
that way.
notice her verse is longer than everybody
Yeah.
else's.
She was-
just like Nicki on Monster. And it's
Yeah.
like if you listen to them side by side, it's like
that was their moment.
Yeah.
that was their big moment.
and it was just interesting to me that you had these two songs, and on both songs it was like those are these two female MCs' big moments.
Yep. Yeah, Taken in Blood is like probably my top like 5 favorite Nas songs like ever. So like I fucking love Taken. I just love the beat. I love how that shit come on. I love all Nas verses was freaking dope as fuck. I'm like, this is like vintage Nas right here. Like that shit was so fucking dope. But yeah, it's just he just went after the whole mafioso moniker.
But you know what? He did. He definitely did, and you could tell there were a lot of different elements that he wanted to do that he put in this album, and it worked. Like it didn't work after this. It worked here, and while there was a departure from like Illmatic and some of the sounds that like the heads wanted for him commercially, it kind of like Nas became fucking Nas, like Nas for real. Like everybody knew him.
Everybody knew him.
Yeah, everybody knew him at that point.
Everybody was going back checking out Illmatic because it was real.
Yep.
Like,
and that
yeah.
to Rap's point, that fucking If I Rule the World, that shit was everywhere. Everywhere. That shit was on repeat.
I didn't even care for that song. I didn't even care for that
It
song.
don't sound as good as it did back then
What?
to me.
It doesn't.
It don't, man.
I think one as a single,
I have
one might
no
be better than
idea.
that song.
Fuji's was huge that year. Lauryn Hill was like
Yeah.
super
It was
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the same year the score came out. So like, Fuji's was like on another level, and for him
That's
to get
probably it.
for him to get Lauryn Hill at that time, that was considered one of the best MCs in the game. Like that was huge. Like
Yeah.
that was a perfect way to open up your single for your second album.
Yeah,
And, like,
no, it was.
Most people always talk about sophomore slumps. I think Nas definitely survived the
Yeah, he
sophomore
did.
slump.
He did. He did.
didn't. Most people make a dope debut album. That sophomore would be like, I don't know.
And it was the introduction of Nas to a lot
Right.
more people too. Yeah, when I went back and listened to it, like this album didn't move me the way it used to back in the day. Still good, but when I got to the last, like when I got to If I Ruled the World, I was like, whew, thank God. Like I was like, I only got to listen to this, and maybe because they played it so fucking much
They did.
back then.
They
Like I'm like,
Yeah, the radio wears some shit out.
man,
Yeah,
they played
man,
that shit.
yeah.
Man, they played that shit all on the radio back then, man.
Like I didn't get excited. I didn't have no feeling of nostalgia or nothing. It was like, okay, all right, cool.
Last year when I was in Toronto and I was at a day party and they played this, like the crowd's reaction, I was like,
Of
damn.
course.
Females gonna sing
Of
it. When the hook
course.
come
Oh,
up,
yeah.
the females singing like crazy. Me personally, I would have liked the Lauryn Hill verse. Like the fact, the way she was killing Mike's back then.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she could have sung, and she could have still sung the hook, but I would have loved to hear a verse from her, like personally. Just
Or like a remix, like extended with a verse of hers. Or
That would
something
have
like
been dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been dope. Last thing, and remember this the in the message that the first couple of bars, fake love, you know,
Fake thug, no love, you get the slug.
yeah,
Gusto.
CV4,
Gusto,
and Pop thought it was about him, and then Nas came out and said that it was about Biggie, which was
Well, I thought the One Life, One Love, so they can only be one king was kind of towards Biggie, and that's why Biggie made Kick in the Door.
right, yeah. But if
Well,
I
maybe I'm
remember
making
correctly,
that up.
there was a Nas
What
Pac
was the problem?
issue.
I mean, what was the problem?
Because Pac thought that Thug line was towards him.
Right. That's why
And-
he made Against All. That's why he talked about him in Against All Odds. And all
Right.
that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he can't. It was an interview. I think it was with Complex or somebody. He cleared it up and he said that line was really for kind of what you said. The King line
Yeah, for
was
Biggie.
towards Biggie, which goes back to the issue that Biggie and Nas had.
To me, it was more of a friendly competition. Look, I'm the best. No, nigga, I'm like it was just like a friendly competition.
Is it or why is it a classic? I guess is it a classic?
It is. Yeah, it's a classic. Hell yeah, it's a classic. He got songs out here that lasted the test of time. If I Ruled the World, like I said, just last year when I was in Toronto and they were playing this, like the way people were reacting to it, it was just I was sitting back like, damn, like I knew this shit was dope, but y'all motherfuckers acting like y'all hearing it for the first time. You know, B mentioned it. He didn't have a sophomore slump. How many greats have had sophomore slumps? Again, for me, I think this was one of Nas's best marriage of beats and rhymes. Some people go back to it, some people don't. I don't go back to it as often, but when I do, I still like it. Like I'm still enjoyed by it. You know what I'm saying? Like it still gives me entertainment.
Yeah, it's definitely a classic album. I mean, just because I don't return to it, that doesn't mean anything. I definitely think that, you know, like somebody here said, you know, Nas bypassed the sophomore slump. And that was very difficult to do. To some people, this is arguably a better album. I definitely think his songwriting was better. I think his lines were a lot more intricate on this album than they were on Illmatic. It's just for some reason personally, I don't return to it. But is it a classic album? Did it impact the industry? Did it make hella waves? Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, it was definitely a classic. It was everywhere. Like it was definitely everywhere. It was the Nas album that, you know, when coming off Illmatic, it was like, man, I wish people was talking about this. Like it was like you was glad to see Nas was finally being talked about and being brought up as known as the great MCs with this album. They like this album, like put him on it. This album did for him what Volume 2 did for Jay-Z. Like it just like it commercially put him on the map. Because at this point too, let's not forget, Nas was killing features. I mean, he was on Fast Life with Coogee Rap. He was on Verbal Intercourse with Wu-Tang. Like he was on with Mobb Deep joints on their first few albums. Like Nas was killing features too, as well as between the Illmatic and leading up to this album. So yeah, it was just I mean, like I said, it's definitely a great album. Like I said, my only gripe was just like you were the formula and you followed the formula on your sophomore album.
Man, that's a good point about that Volume 2 with Jay-Z.
That's what that album did for him. What Volume 2 did for Jay-Z.
And you damn, hell yeah, that was good. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I think it's a classic. You know, just kind of what everybody's saying, man. Like for a lot of people, like this was their first introduction to Nas. Like they probably didn't even know Illmatic existed, but once they heard that If I Rule the World, that was everywhere. I mean, they went out and copped it in the sales. You know, we don't really rely on sales much, but from a historical context, the sales reflect that. So yeah, it was very impactful. It put him on the map, and you know, like even to this day, we can poll a lot of people, and a lot of people will say it's their favorite album. So that means something.